Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your continued support. Now, I know it's a bit bland behind me, so I'm thinking of blowing the budget and buying one of those bulbs that changes colour, just to give it a little bit of colour behind me. So, don't get too excited. It's not going to be anything too fancy, but might just make behind me a little bit nicer. Let me know down what you think in the comments, whether I should do that or not, and what colour I should have. Obviously, don't think I should go with blue or red. Could mean that I have links to certain parties which I don't. So let me know what colour you think would be best to go behind me as well. Right, so if you've watched this channel before, you'll know that I've talked a lot about this situation where the DWP now want to have more powers to check bank accounts. They want banks to use their algorithm to spot fraudulent activity and things like that. And from your comments, I know that you're not entirely happy about this. Neither am I. But there are some who have said, well, if you've got nothing to hide, there's nothing to worry about. But we all know that the DWP don't always do things properly, or rather, they do things in a way that can cause distress and sometimes unhappiness. So I'm going to show you a story now about one woman in particular who has had a problem with the DWP checking her bank statements. Let's take a look. Right, here we go. An invasion of privacy. Single mum left mortified after DWP scrutinises her bank account. Now, this is, I just want to tell you, this is the system they currently use. This isn't, of course, the new powers that they're hoping to have. Leonie Berman recalls feeling mortified when an officer for DWP scrutinised her bank account statements. She says every payment she had made over the course of 3 months was questioned, including money she had spent for her daughter's 3rd birthday. Her universal credit was under review, not because she had been investigated for fraud, but as part of a routine check to determine if she was getting the right amount. Yet she was made to feel penalised in the process, she says, and was threatened with her payments being stopped unless she shared her bank account statements. The single mother uses universal credit to prop up her fluctuating income as a supply teacher, and she was compelled despite feeling it was an invasion of privacy. However, confusion over the dates her bank processed payments meant her ordeal lasted months. Although this has now been resolved, she fears others will increasingly face similar scrutiny as the DWP plans to ramp up its surveillance of bank accounts. She said, it's stressful being on universal credit, it's stressful being a lone parent, and it's stressful being in the world right now and to have the DWP and Labour governments saying this kind of stuff. Politicians don't know what it's like to be poor. And it goes on to say that they're going to give this information, well, they're going to hopefully give more information. And also that the big issue understands that there are safeguards going to be put in place. This is what the government has said. Berman is clear that she has nothing to hide and see that she never committed fraud, but she was the subject of scrutiny because her online banking system gave different payment dates to those expected by the DWP. She was repeatedly asked for bank statements from certain dates, and she tried to give these, but she had made no transactions on some of these dates and they did not appear in her account. Bergman did not have access to a computer at home, so was having to navigate this on her phone, which added to the stress. She went into the job centre, submitted her statements alongside a work coach who recognised the difficulties she was facing, and Bergman believed it was consequently resolved, but she still received more messages from the DWP asking for information, which she could not give. I feel like I'm being penalised. My bank doesn't use the dates that fit in with your system, and that a lack of technology has made it difficult for me to upload these documents easily. This is what she wrote in her journal. I've made the effort to fulfil my obligations by going to the job centre. I will be grateful if this could be considered, because a lack of money in January would be horrendous. Because she's a supply teacher, her wage fluctuates every month, as does her universal credit. Supply teachers in high demand in her region, Dumfries and Galloway, so it's an important role, but she claims the DWP struggles to understand this, and it heightens confusion over how much universal credit she should receive. During the Christmas holidays last year, Berman received a call from the DWP. She claims the officer went through every spend made over £100 between May and October. It was absolutely mortifying. I said I spent £100 in May. It was my daughter's birthday. I felt so embarrassed. It's like I'm not allowed to spend any money on universal credit. I am a sensible person and I wanted to make sure I had enough money to buy party stuff. It's like you get kicked in the teeth for trying to be responsible. I don't think anyone would believe me if I told them that someone had been through my knicker drawer, literally nitpicking on everything I spend money on. I couldn't believe it. And it goes on. Tomorrow I have less than £100 for my child, and I have to live until the 15th because I am reliant on universal credit. This is unfortunately a big problem, because this is the current system where you are asked to supply bank statements and things like that. But there's a couple of issues here that I have. Firstly is that, in terms of the bank not agreeing the dates with DWP, or the DWP seeing that things don't come out on certain dates they expect them to come out, I mean, that surely should be down to the DWP misinterpreting when things are done through the bank, and they should know that. They should realise that some banks have different ways of recording things than others. The second thing that strikes me is that, there are people out there who can't use technology or won't use technology. And that will make this situation even harder, because yes, you can supply bank statements to the job centre if you've got one near you, but it's just, it's difficult for some people. If you have someone who doesn't have technology, doesn't have access to a computer, then it could be very distressing for them and very stressful. So let me know what you think about this. If you've had a similar experience to this, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I just think it's going to get worse, I think, with this new system, because they're going to be able to go into literally everything, and I think that it's going to make it a lot worse. And I don't think this is an isolated incident. But let me know down in the comment section what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you next time.